Are you about to pack up and leave California for what looks like your dream life in North Atlanta? Well, hold on just a second, because what I'm about to share with you could save you from a relocation nightmare. The kind that drains your savings, lands you in the wrong neighborhood, and has you second guessing the entire move. In this exact video, I'm going to break down the biggest mistakes that people make when they move to North Atlanta, and exactly which suburbs are the smartest move for 2025. So stick around to the very end, because the difference between a smooth relocation and a disastrous one is what you're gonna learn right here in this exact video. Okay, let's talk about the biggest elephant in the room. Why in the world would somebody leave a beautiful state like California in the first place? Number one is probably something that most people already know, and that is the cost of living. If you live in the state of California, you already know the median home price has gone through the roof. And if you're somebody like me that moved from San Diego to Atlanta, you'll realize that the cost of living in San Diego is about 35% more expensive than in Atlanta itself. Now, property taxes, forget about it. Those are basically rent payments compared to Atlanta. Number two is the lifestyle. More people want more space and less congestion. They want a neighborhood where kids still ride their bikes, and as you're driving by, neighbors actually wave to you instead of ignoring you. Number three is Atlanta's job market. Atlanta's job market is on fire, especially if you work in tech, healthcare, or the advanced manufacturing field. You can certainly end a solid career path here without getting destroyed by sky-high housing costs. Now, for those of you that love those cold, hard facts, here's the data. According to the US Census Bureau, about 26,000 people migrated from California to Georgia. In the grand scheme of things, that's not a massive number, but that is a big number of people that have decided to search for a better quality of life in Atlanta versus California. Now, these aren't just random numbers. These are real numbers based on data that show a massive relocation trend. And hey, if you're watching this and you're thinking, Cesar, this sounds exactly like me, you're not alone. I talk to people on a weekly basis that feel the same frustrations, that are also searching for a better quality of life where their money gets them a lot more. In the Southern words, more bang for your buck. Now, I gave you the data and the facts, but why are people actually choosing Atlanta over any other city? Well, that's easy. First up is award-winning schools. Our school systems in North Atlanta are top ranked with strong test scores, high graduation rates, and teachers who actually stick around. If you've got kids like I do, this is very important. And even if you don't, school systems play a big role, because that can determine your home's value in the long term. Not only do we have top-rated schools, but we also have some of the safest neighborhoods in the country. Compared to other cities in other states, these northern Atlanta suburbs have way lower crime rates, more neighborhood watch groups, better community involvement, and just a stronger sense of safety. That simply means more peace of mind if you want your kids playing outside or riding their bikes to school. The next thing we have is beautiful parks, lakes, and hiking trails. You've got the Suwanee Greenway, Lake Lanier, Big Creek Greenway, and a whole network of trails. For people that love the outdoors, this is basically paradise. No more being stuck in traffic on the weekends with nothing to do. Then on the other hand, there's proximity to massive employers. You've got the corporate hubs around the Avalon, which is located in Alpharetta, the booming healthcare corridor off of Georgia 400, like Northside Hospital, Emory Healthcare, and many more. That simply means shorter commutes, high-paying jobs, and a future-proof employment market. And before I forget, let's talk about the food and the breweries. Alpharetta and Suwanee, Georgia have built an incredible food scene with taco festivals, craft breweries, food trucks, and restaurants that rival big city vibes. So if you thought that moving to the suburbs meant giving up culture and diversity and flavor, you might want to think again. Now here's a fun fact. Alpharetta, Georgia was ranked one of the top 5 best suburbs in America by niche.com. Put that in your spreadsheet. Now let's talk about the hidden costs and the relocation risks. Now, before you run over to Zillow and schedule your U-Haul, let's talk about the hidden costs and your relocation risks. First up is moving your vehicles and emissions testing. Georgia has emissions rules. I would say you budget a couple $100s and plan for a few headaches, because let's be honest, the DMV isn't always that pleasant. Trust me, this will save you some hair pulling later. Second is higher HOA fees in certain subdivisions, especially with the amount of new construction communities that are growing. New master plan communities have amazing pools, clubhouses, parks, and maybe even gyms. But of course, just like everything in life, it's not free. Monthly or annual HOA dues can run in the hundreds or even thousands. And if you don't factor that in, which, let's be honest, mortgage lenders will, you might get a little bit of a sticker shock. Now, the third mistake is underestimating closing costs, but you're not alone. A lot of people do this. Georgia in itself has fairly low property taxes, but you still have to bring generally 2 to 3% of the purchase price for your closing costs. That means that on a $600,000 purchase price, you'll have to bring an additional $12,000 to $18,000 in cash. And unfortunately, a lot of people forget this in other states. But don't worry, we're in a buyer's market, which allows us as your agent be able to negotiate those costs with the seller of the home. And now, the biggest mistake is buying a house in the wrong school zone. Even if you don't have kids, schools have a massive impact on home resale values. On one hand, a poorly rated school zone could cost you thousands down the road when you go to resell. So do your homework before you fall in love with the house. Now, for my feeling-based folks out there, this is a huge leap of faith, and it can certainly be scary. Even having grown up in Georgia and moving to San Diego and then making the move from San Diego to Atlanta, I was still scared and skeptical of making that move back. So for somebody that has never even made a move like that, I can certainly understand how much more difficult of a decision that can be. You want to protect your family, and you should. But for my fun-based crowd out there, picture this. You buy your dream home without checking the school zone, and 2 years later, you're stuck trying to sell pennies on the dollar. That's how you end up with frozen pizza on the floor of a rental. Just don't do it. Okay, now let's talk about the best part. Is finding and choosing the best suburbs in North Atlanta so that you can absolutely crush your relocation. First up on the list, and I've personally lived here, is Alpharetta, Georgia. You'll get that modern suburban feel with great schools, top employers, plus the incredible Avalon development that blends shopping, event, and nightlife. You get that city vibe, but still a suburban lifestyle. Next up on the list is Suwanee, which is famous for its town center. It's basically a community event on steroids with concerts, festivals, and a giant green space. Suwanee is also loaded with top-rated schools and incredible parks. And that's perfect for families that just want to feel connected. Cumming, Georgia, where I personally grew up for the majority of my life. It's a little more laid back with easy access to Lake Lanier for boating, fishing, and that classic lake lifestyle. Now, some parts of Suwanee can definitely be a little bit more affordable compared to Alpharetta or Suwanee, making it a strong option for buyers that are budget-minded but still want amazing schools. Next is Johns Creek, Georgia. It's a quieter, more luxury-oriented suburb with some of Georgia's best performing schools. It has some of the most beautiful maintained neighborhoods and a very diverse and friendly population that feels upscale, but also very welcoming. And lastly is Milton, Georgia, or Milton. Milton. I don't know. But if you want more land, more trees, or even to keep a horse on your property, Milton is where you gotta be. It's rural feeling with huge lots and a calm vibe, but still only about 15 to 20 minutes from great restaurants and shopping such as Alpharetta. For those of you that are putting together a spreadsheet with numbers, let's talk about it. As of right now, you're looking at about average prices of around $650,000 in Alpharetta, $550,000 in Suwanee, $500,000 in Cumming, and around $750,000 in Milton. Of course, those are always changing, so make sure to ask me for the latest and most accurate. These cities truly feel like home. People talk to each other, neighbors actually help you out, and there are super safe parks and playgrounds. And if you want fun, thinking food truck Fridays, music festivals, craft beer festivals, and lake days with your family, North Atlanta 100% has something for everybody. Now, let's land this plane with the biggest pitfalls you must avoid when moving to North Atlanta. Number one is not researching the school districts. I cannot emphasize this one enough, and I will keep repeating it over and over. Schools matter. Even if you're single or retired, buying in the wrong school zone could decrease your resale value. Number two is buying before visiting in person. I always recommend taking a weekend to tour the communities before deciding on a move. Videos like this are great for information, but you can't get a feel for the neighborhoods, streets, or that gut feeling that will tell you whether it is or is not a good or bad decision. And lastly, underestimating the commuting times. Traffic in North Metro Atlanta is not a joke. And yes, even in the suburbs. What's a 20-minute drive on Google Maps could easily turn into a 45-minute to an hour school drop-off or pickup time during rush hour. Always test your actual commute. So if you avoid those 3 landmines, you're already 90% ahead of the people looking to make this move. Now remember, you don't have to figure this out alone. Every week, I help families just like yours build a bulletproof relocation plan, and I'd be more than honored to help you do the same. You can call or text me directly, or you can just go ahead and schedule a call via the link in the description of this video. Seriously, I'm 100% serious. You're not gonna get a pushy sales pitch. This is one of the biggest decisions of your life, and the last thing you want is for somebody to push you into doing something that you don't feel 100% comfortable with. I will give you straight answers and honest guidance. Or if you prefer, just check out the guides in the description of this video to familiarize yourself not only with myself, but Atlanta as a whole with my relocation guide and the most popular suburbs in north of Atlanta. I'm talking with people every single week that explore into making this move, and I'd be honored to help you do the same. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up on this video, and leave any comments that you have. And of course, turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss any single update. See you in the next video.